Thank you. So we talk a lot about innovations today. And one way of demonstrating innovations is to look back at what have we done in the past. Tacton has a long history of innovation. Company was founded 25 plus years ago. The SaaS platform, CPQ SaaS, since 2017. Over those years, we have released many capabilities to the market. And all of these leading up to our leading position today. Let's zoom in a bit on this year, 2024. Again, quite a few new capabilities. And I'm sure that there are quite a few of those that you haven't implemented yet, or perhaps don't even know about. So that's why I want to do this retrospective and look back to previous releases. So many of you sell products to multiple markets in multiple currencies. And if you have long cycles, that means you expose yourself to exchange rate risks. And no one wants risk. Companies don't like that. So one of the capabilities that we have is the ability to lock the exchange rates. That means you move that out of the equation from the CPQ process and you hand it over to your finance department instead. And they get to hedge that risk on the open market. And that's usually the preferred way in large companies to deal with this. And I just like to know, has anyone in here evaluated and even started to use locked currency rates yet? No one yet? How many think this is relevant? Oh, thank you. Good to see some hands. Configuration templates. So we all know that guided selling is great. But there may be things that you perhaps haven't added to that process yet. There may be tweaks that your sales organization want to do. It could be particular segments, particular customers with particular needs that you don't have as a question yet. When that's the case, the sales organization can now use templates. They can prepare a configuration, save it as a named template, and then they can reuse it for that specific customer or specific segment or any other type of specifics that you see in your sales organization. It's even possible for sales managers to prepare templates and share it with their organization if they want to have like TV chef dinners prepared for their sales guys. So this is an alternate starting point of the configuration that you pick. So instead of just picking a product and start from scratch, you pick a template and you start from something that is predefined with more selections applied. How many of you have those special cases in your sales organization where you think templates could be a good fit? Happy to see a lot of hands. Thank you. So the good things with what I'm presenting right now is, of course, that you have this in your environment already. That means you can try it tomorrow if you want to. So visualization. We have some type of medical equipment in this case, and there are multiple ways you can share the visualization with your customer, with your buyer. You can just do a normal screen sharing session in Teams when you have a discussion, of course. You can send a proposal, you can add a link so that when the customer gets the proposal, they get to see the product in 3D for themselves. But you can also share it during your configuration session and have an interactive dialogue and make changes to it, and the customer will see what you see immediately. There are some differences when it comes to what type of device the end customer will use. So if they're on an iOS or Apple device, they can see the visualization in a browser. But if they want to use augmented reality and see the equipment placed in their facility, they need to use an AR app. That's a Tacton app. If they're on an Android device, they can use the browser throughout, both to see the visualization and to see it in augmented reality, basically on their premises. And we have a video demonstrating this piece that I'm hoping to see on screen right now. So we have a configuration, this medical equipment. We can view it from multiple angles, of course, because it's in 3D. We share the link with the customer so that they can see it either as a URL or as a QR code. And now we're on the customer's device, and he can follow along in that configuration session and see exactly what you see. And even place the equipment at the customer premises to see if it fits. This actually looks like someone's living room, but hey, you may need medical equipment in your living room as well, at least if you get old enough. So the new piece in this is the augmented reality part for Android devices. That has been highly requested. Not everyone uses Apple devices. And of course, being able, for the customer to be able to walk around the equipment and see how it fits is a great added benefit. You can try it in the corridor, Per tells me. Excellent. And it's in the booth right outside, right? Cool. Do try it. Is this your living room, Per? It is. It's Per's living room. Excellent. Moving on. Pricing. So I usually go to myself for this one. If I'm browsing for a car and I'm talking to a dealer, and he says, "Well, do you want the normal wheels or the sport wheels?" Yes, I want the sport wheels. Yes. But how much extra will I have to pay for it? And that's what this is all about, delta pricing. How much extra is another option? It can be displayed in multiple ways, of course. You can display it as just the list price for each item, or as the difference to what you've already selected. And to support the buying decision, the cost is extremely important, of course. Many do this today, using modeling, adding the price as a feature. This one supports currencies as well. So if you sell to multiple countries, multiple currencies, you can get it in the currency of the customer immediately, which is an added benefit. This is a different view, just to present that you can show the price in multiple different ways. Either as a delta, now I get to use the laser, lovely. So that's a delta price compared to what you've selected. And in this view, on the images, you can see the list price for each option. This works best for options and accessories, and maybe not as good for central components, because if I were to switch to another gearbox, maybe that means I can't have the big engine. So maybe that changes the entire configuration, and the total price is completely different. We cannot account for that in this one. So it's the price of that addition only. Yes.
Is costing included in this price?
No, this is from a price list, so I don't think it's cost-based. No, correct. I'm moving on to, I'd like to call it custom requests. So the story for this one is really, I select a frame. This is a bicycle example. We love bicycles at Tacton. Maybe you've noticed in the past. So I have a frame selection, and we don't have special paint jobs modeled in this model, so I can't select a special type of paint job. But this customer wants custom flames. So he's asking me, can you give me custom flames on the bike? I'd like it. And we're saying, well, yes, we can, so why not enable that? So this is a way of enabling capturing additional information that you don't have modeled. And in this case, from a technical point of view, we're using BOM attributes. And this is a way of editing BOM attributes during the configuration. And we can use it for a custom request to capture the request itself. And in this case, also pricing information, material cost, man hours, and that can be estimated by the sales guy immediately, and we can use it for pricing. This is apparently a very popular way of customizing things in the vehicle industry in North America. We have customers with large configurations, many questions. I heard a record yesterday, 600 questions. That's at least a record for me. Does anyone use more than 600 questions in their model? No? So 600 questions. It can be really hard to find the one that the customer is talking about. Maybe they're talking about mud flaps. So where do we have mud flaps? Should I browse through it all? Should I scroll, navigate? That takes time. So we added a find function. So we all use find functions in nearly every program, so it's a given. Now we have it in Tacton as well, in the configurator. You can just type what you're looking for. You get help finding where it is. You navigate to the place, and you can make the selection that the customer wants. He wants the small mud flaps or the large mud flaps. I don't know. Simple but very efficient for the sales staff. But yes, of course, they should also look into why they have that many questions. Perhaps they can refine their products and modularize it even better. Yes, but the find is still good. Custom actions. So let me start by talking about what it is from a function point of view. So we have a related objects panel in the front end. That one now has custom actions. You can add a script to it that automates tasks. So look at it as a way of automating. If you do many clicks to accomplish something, you can now write a script for it, a predefined script that the sales staff can use. And what type of operations would you like to automate? Well, we have one example. And this example is for vehicle change orders. And the story is, it's common for vehicle customers to order, in this case, 10 identical vehicles. And they usually have pretty long lead times. So they place that order well ahead of time. When you get a bit closer and it's nearing time to production, you have another dialogue with the customer, and he says, well, yes, those 10, I'd like the first 2, 1st of March, and can you make them black, please? So they want to make some adjustments to the configuration as well. So that's a change order. And this is referred to as split runs or split builds in the vehicle industry. Each vehicle typically gets to be their own order in ERP because they have a vehicle identification number and they get delivered individually. So what people often do then is they set up an order object in CPQ, they map that to that order. So when you start, when they place the first order, you have a configured product with quantity 10. And then you have 10 orders attached to that one, displayed in the related objects panel. So moving to that one with this script for split runs, you can then select the first two, split. It will create a copy of the configured product, move the two vehicles to that one, and you can change the configuration for those, including the date. And this is an example of what you can use custom actions for in the related objects panel. So one question I often get on this one is, well, can't we have custom actions in other places as well? Yes, quite possibly. So talk to us. Tell us about the use cases that you have that need automation, and we'll see what we can do. Something for the modelers, index constraints. This is something that everyone using Studio and TCX modeling is well aware of. It has not been around in product modeling on the web previously, but this year we did release it. So if you have repeating parts, in this example we have a nozzle seal pair, and we have a dynamic number of those, and we need to describe that using constraints. With index constraints, we can describe it with one constraint, saying that the size of the two, it has to match for each position to be good. Accomplishing this with normal constraints is very, very, very hard and time-consuming and difficult to maintain. But with index constraints, it's fast and easy to maintain. So, accessories, things we add on. I'm assuming that many of you use the module variant catalog for accessories today. Does that ring a bell? How many use the module variant catalog today in here? Do we have anyone? One. Oh, lovely. So the module variant catalog, it's pretty standalone. You can use filters and stuff to help you find correct accessories based on your configuration. But it's not watertight because there are no constraints in between. So we introduced another way of adding accessories to the solution. We call it options. So it's included in the modeling piece. It's good because you can use constraints and attach it to the rest of the configuration and get it watertight and avoid mistakes. But it's also good for the sales experience because if you have, so the module variant catalog is standalone. It's on its separate tab today. With options, you can put them wherever you want. So if you have a cabin selection, small, medium, large cabin, you can then have a cabin options directly beside it or under it, meaning that it makes more sense for the sales guy to pick cabin options directly after the cabin selection. It's also good for the user experience for salespeople, because if you put quantity 0 to 1, it will automatically be a checkbox, like a one-click selection, easy to do. If you put quantity 0 to n, it will be an integer, also easy to use. All in all, this is an efficient way of modeling accessories and perhaps other things in your product models. And it's nice for sales reps because the experience is good. So, looking back, this is what we've done since 2017. And of course, we have done this largely with the help of you, our customers. So my message from this session is keep talking to us, provide us with good feedback, suggest ideas. Because if we work together, we can keep innovating in the future as well. Let's do it together. Thank you.